Okay, I got a couple things to go over, but I wanted to start with this because I found it quite humorous. So, former Disney CEO calls Star Wars 9 emotionless and hails Jon Favreau as the next George Lucas, which we all know is definitely a possibility. I've liked what the man's done with The Mandalorian. He's done some producing before, and I think that it would make sense to boot Kathleen Kennedy out of Lucasfilm and give him the job, especially if he's going to produce content like The Mandalorian. Maybe we could get more Star Wars on that kind of level, which I would like. I think a lot of people would be happy with that. So he throws a little bit of shade and then praises, the move with John. So I just thought this was kind of funny. I didn't know, is this cool for CEOs to do? Like, kind of knock on your old job like this? I don't know. He doesn't say anything too bad, but it's still kind of funny. So he says, Rise of Skywalker is an acceptable film. A lot of story and fan delights, but somewhat emotionless, while The Mandalorian on Disney Plus establishes show creator Jon Favreau as the new George Lucas, which Bob Iger had the foresight to declare. Daisy Ridley played Rey throughout the film with one expression, awe and fear, until the very end of the film when she reveals her name. That's what I meant by a film that somewhat lacked emotion. And that's so true. He nailed it right there. She's literally like got an angry face or she looks scared. She's got about as many expressions as Captain Marvel's Brie Larson. So I just thought that was pretty funny. Also, so the JJ cut. I covered this in my last video. We have this whole thing going around, release the JJ cut or release the Abrams cut. This is in relation to two things. The editor for Rise of Skywalker came out and said, hey, the film was rushed. It was a mess. Disney was cracking down on us, all kinds of stuff. Then there was a big posting on Reddit with a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know if it's legit or not. There's some things I don't like, and there's some things that I do. But regardless, we get things here and there that kind of show that there really are different versions of the movie. Like this right here. Earlier cuts of The Rise of Skywalker give more backstory to Palpatine, which is interesting. I'd like to know how he's still alive instead of just saying, a stolen line from Revenge of the Sith. That would be kind of nice. Maybe find out what's going on here. I don't know. We didn't get any of that. Instead, we just got a glorious mess. It's like, maybe you'll just forget that we didn't explain that. But of course, no one did. So anyway, more and more every day we find out some stuff. I'm telling you, the drama that went on in the production of this movie is more interesting than the movie itself. It's crazy. It's crazy. Before we get to the main course, which has to do with people complaining that fans want a different version of the movie, check this out. So this guy found this, which I thought was really funny. So to give you an idea of how broken Wikipedia is, the Mary Sue is apparently what counts as a source for many people considering the Star Wars sequel trilogy the best in the series. So you go here, it talks about how a lot of people consider it to be the best, and when you click on the link, what do you get? The Mary Sue.
That is one big pile of shit.
So, what's the big thing going on right now? Well, like I said at the beginning of the video, release the JJ cut's been trending. Now, we've seen stuff like this before. Remember the Sonic thing with the Sonic trailer? We got two different versions of Sonic. One was an incredibly ugly version that looked nothing like Sonic that everyone knows. Fans didn't like it, made fun of it pretty hard for about a week. And then the studio said, okay, you know what? We're going to shut things down, and we're not going to put that out. We're going to fix it. We're going to make Sonic look good again. They released a new trailer. Sonic looked good. Everyone loved it. A lot of good faith for the studio. And I guarantee you they won people over to go check out that movie. I like Sonic, but I wasn't really interested in watching Sonic in the theaters. But you know what? After that move, I'm kind of probably going to go check out that movie because of the good faith. Now, if there's one thing that journalists don't like, is good faith. They want everyone to be miserable like them or something. I don't know. They find problems with everything. So I'm going to go over the thread that this lady's responding to. But I wanted to just point out this tweet because I found it quite funny and telling, because this is how things always end up with these people. This is, of course, a film critic. And this is a response to the thread I'm going to talk about, which is pretty much calling people that want... So if they want the Abrams cut, they are the beginnings of a gate movement. You know how that goes. Clarice here comes out and says, "Not surprising that these kinds of campaigns are always in the defense of white male directors. If Wonder Woman had turned out a disappointment, Patty Jenkins would absolutely have gotten the blame." So, of course, if you don't like Rise of Skywalker now, or if, you would like to see the alternative version to see if maybe that's better, you are now a racist or a sexist. One of the two. You hate ladies or you hate POC.
How dare you?
And then this is what she based that post on, because, once again, fans aren't allowed to complain. This is what I always find funny. It's always these people from BuzzFeed. This guy's senior reporter at BuzzFeed News. So he makes over $100,000 a year. I don't know if you saw that Google Doc where all these journalists thought it'd be a brilliant idea to go out and release how much money they make, when it really just made them look like, asses in their ivory towers. Can't stand journalists. They sit there and want to push all this stuff up and shake their finger while they're making these massive incomes. $100,000 to work at BuzzFeed. So, of course, he's sipping his latte from Starbucks and trying to decide, what fans can and cannot do. So he goes on here and he finds reactions that people have to the Reddit leak. Now, look, I don't know if that Reddit leak's true or not. I'm leaning towards it's probably not, just because of the way it reads. But like I said, a lot of these leaks have been true. So, a lot of it makes sense when you hear things that have come out. So I don't know. I don't know if they're real or not. I'm leaning towards they're not. That's why I didn't make a big deal about them. However, I do believe there is a JJ cut. 100%. I do believe there's probably a Lucas cut. I do believe there's other versions of this film. And it's people's right to want to see it. But of course, that's not how things work with these journalists. You're not allowed to get on here. That's toxic. Guy makes a whole thread here talking about how it's toxic for these fandoms to want to go out there, and they're gonna come up and raise up and go after actors and actresses, even though that never really happens. Saw like one post for Kelly Marie Tran. However, just like in the video I just did yesterday, none of them say anything about the harassment that Adam Driver's wife got. People going up and giving him carvings of his dog at shows. Like, no one talks about that, but, one Instagram post. That makes an entire fandom toxic. Yeah, it's these people that push this stuff that's toxic. So he goes on, this is how he ends this long post, going around talking about how the community is polarized. And it is. It definitely is. Now it's even worse because of Rise of Skywalker. It was really bad from Last Jedi. Mandalorian came in, actually united the fan base until Rise of Skywalker came out. And now it's just, at least with Rise of Skywalker, I will say this. At least we're arguing over if it's a good movie or not. I think that's at least a step in somewhat of a better direction compared to Last Jedi, where we were, getting labeled as ists and phobes. So anyway, but yeah, so we have this here. He talks about some weird stuff, but then he goes on to say, "So, deep breath. I think what's happening in the Star Wars and other fandoms in regards to mass disinformation becoming literal information wars will hit an inflection point pretty soon, and like Gamergate before, it probably have huge socio-political ramifications."
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
So then you get other BuzzFeed people like this one coming in here saying, "No, this is such a take, and I kind of agree." So you got all these check marks coming in and kind of just falling all over this guy, which leads to opinions like this one, where you are now some kind of istophobe because you want something as a fan. It's just funny how they twist this up. They only ever cover one side. They don't ever look at everything. Like I said, just, I had no idea about that Adam Driver stuff. And if you haven't seen that video, go watch it, because it's pretty crazy. All the stuff out there and the way that his family was treated, no one ever made a big deal about it. So it's just funny. This will be the next thing. Watch. So I guarantee you, within the next week, because it was trending, the JJ cut thing was trending, and you know how they like to jump on that stuff. You'll see articles now saying, Istaphobe fans demand white director's cut or something. Watch. It'll happen. It always happens. I always get these things right. I'm like 90% of my predictions with these things, with these headlines, because they're so predictable. They're very predictable. So just wait. I bet you'll see the articles real soon. They're already talking about it on Twitter. So it's only a matter of time. That's where the breeding ground is. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Quick little video. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. How does it make you feel to know, if they want something? If you want something as a fan, you need to shut your mouth and just consume, boy. Anyway, give me your thoughts. Like, subscribe. Remember, comments and likes really help videos out, so please consider leaving comments and likes. Helps videos out in the algorithm. Also, share the video. That's also very important. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.